Hello, dear viewer, and welcome to another episode of the Catholic League Forum. I'm Mike McDonald, Director of Communications at the Catholic League, and joining me today is Bill Donohue, President and CEO of the Catholic League. Now, Bill, we had another very busy week, as per usual, around here at the Catholic League, because we actually show up for work, unlike the rest of New York.
Over 50% of the people have never come back to work here in New York City. That's true. And on Monday and Friday, it's a ghost town. And that means that all these businesses here that depend on people for lunch and for drinks after work, they're dying. They're dying. The city's in serious trouble.
Yeah.
But let's get on with our stuff.
On with the actual important stuff. So we started the week Monday after the Super Bowl, looking at how some of the off-field controversies around the Super Bowl really speak to the cultural divide in America right now. The first one you pointed out was a Christian group, He Gets Us, put out two commercials for about 30 seconds. They added up to really reaching out of this sort of message that Jesus is there for everybody. He loves you.
It's evangelicals.
Evangelicals. But, you know, a pretty benign message. Nothing really too offensive
Jesus,
there.
Mary, and Joseph were, they looked at them as people who weren't wanted. They had to wander, and they weren't accepted, and they were migrants.
Right, yeah, King Herod tried to kill them, so they became refugees. So nice stuff. A pretty unoffensive message. But some people somehow found a way to take offense to that. AOC Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she took offense to it, said that these commercials were promoting benign fascism. And American atheists, they also suggested that Jesus, I guess from their perspective, if Jesus did exist, I think was in their tweet, he would have rather given the money to help the poor, the LGBT, abortion rights.
And the thing is, they also condemned hatred.
Right.
There was a second ad condemning hatred. So they're talking about treating migrants fairly and to stand up against hatred. So what do AOC and Nick Fish, the guy from American Atheists, have about that? We know what it's about. Yeah. Because Hobby Lobby is one of the groups sponsoring the ad. Hobby Lobby, you remember a couple of years ago, was in the Supreme Court, a religious liberty case about do they have the rights as their own private company not to have contraceptives being forced on them and abortion-inducing drugs, kind of like the Little Sisters of the Poor, and they won on that.
Right.
You see, AOC, she claims to be Catholic. I'm not sure she's ever gone to church in recent years. Yeah. AOC doesn't like religious liberty. She's an opponent of it. American atheists, by definition, they don't like religious liberty. They're out to destroy it. So that's why they don't like this. They don't like Hobby Lobby. They couldn't find fault with the ads. If anything, they were on the liberal side of Christianity.
Right.
But so they just don't like the source of it. That's how deep the hatred is of AOC and the American atheists.
Yeah, and it wasn't just these ads that sprung controversy in the Super Bowl. There was also the big halftime performance by Rihanna that was indecent, to say the least. Up there jumping and gyrating, humping around on the stage, scratching herself,
grabbing herself.
Yeah. Just really indecent. And then the lyrics were just...
We're not going to even bother to repeat them. Yeah.
Why
does she have to be that vulgar? I mean, you're a lot younger than me. I mean, what... when I grew up, you had the Beatles, you had the Rolling Stones, you had Peter, Paul, and Mary, you had the Diana Ross and the Supremes, Dave Clark 5 and whatnot. With rare exception, they didn't get into raunch. They weren't grabbing their genitals, and this is a woman who's pregnant. You think that maybe a light would go off in her head and say, I am a role model to young black girls. What message is she sending?
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, her firstborn child, because she's pregnant with her second child now, I think her firstborn child was a girl. So, right, you were being an example for your own daughter. You would think that would be enough. But even to your point, though, Bill, the Rolling Stones, right, they had sympathy for the devil. I don't agree with the message of the song, but it actually was beyond a third-grade vocabulary. And that's mostly what you get with modern music. It is just very much in the gutter in terms of the vocabulary and then the message with it. Like, there's no real artistic expression. It's just vulgar garbage.
And we have a religious and a secular divide in this country. Yep. About half the country does believe in traditional moral values, and the other half believes in practically nothing. They're secularist, or they don't. So, and that's shaped even politically. So we have this situation here. We have a vulgar display by the secularist, and we have a very appropriate ads actually by people of a religious persuasion. And the blowback was against the people who are the evangelicals. The blowback wasn't against Rihanna for her vulgarism. So that is a telling commentary.
Yeah, I think it's very big, and I think that's a good segue for the next big issue we dealt with. Yesterday, you had a very strong piece out on the abortion pill and its prevalence in society, and it sort of dovetails off what we were talking about last week with Biden in general just being very pro-abortion and misrepresenting the U.S. Catholic bishops and the Pope. Because it's under Biden that he's really liberalized the abortion regulations around the pill, and unfortunately, it's not safe. We know it's definitely not rare. Over half of the abortions last year were done by the pill, and I guess it's legal. And Biden's just making it beyond just really needing any sort of oversight.
Well, and to let the viewers know how we do things here, we go to work every day. We don't know exactly what we're going to do sometimes because it's dependent on what's happening. We're kind of reacting to events, so we're kind of looking around for things that we should address as a Catholic organization. Now, I had read a CDC report which said that 2% of women who have an abortion of any kind have complications. So I did a little math on the number, and that came out to 12,400 women. That's a lot of people. It's not this 2% now. Those 12,400 women each year are having complications. Now, as you point out, the majority, 53%, I didn't know that until I read the report. For the first time in American history, the majority of the abortions are done by a pill. I might have thought, because I don't know anything about this area, that maybe that would be a little safer than a surgical abortion. It's actually much, much more dangerous. Yep. 4 times as dangerous. Over 50% of the people going in into the emergency rooms for this, bleeding, all kinds of complications. So there's 2 pills that you take. So anyone who's selling this as some kind of an elixir, it's really being dishonest. There's no ultrasound. There's no warning. The rush. You don't have to even go to a doctor for this stuff. They can have mail order, and women are at risk, and they're at greater risk with the abortion pill than they are with the surgery. And this word is not getting out, and you quite appropriately said, Biden administration is making it easier to have the pill. So, and Planned Parenthood, of course, is the one dispensing the pill. They'll always get the money, one way or the other. So it's a very, very scary situation for women.
Yeah, it was the Biden administration that did pretty much get rid of the restrictions that you needed to go get it in person. That was something that was put in place during the pandemic, and now they've just refused to sunset that. But Bill, I do think, though, again, pointing out, we actually do have a lot of sources on anything that we do. But this one, because I'm sure the fact checkers are going to get upset about this video, but you did actually get a lot of sources from the Charlotte Lozer Institute. I believe Dr. Ingrid Skoll, who a lot of great references and materials in there. And dear viewer, I would recommend checking out the article. Because Bill did put in most of the dangers of these pills. Don't just take our word for it. Do check it out. Go to CatholicLeague.org. We'll have a link in the description below.
And you guys did a study of the states. That's in there, too. They have to click on that. You get a study of what these guys did on this, And now, we prize ourselves in accuracy. And I don't care if it's a sympathetic source. I've often told the guys, this sounds a little bit fishy to me. We don't put anything out unless we can double check it. Right. All right, we're like good journalists. There aren't that many today, but our accuracy record is excellent. Rarely do we ever have egg in our face like so many other organizations who are too quick to jump the gun, and I could go on like that forever. So yeah, you can rest assured that if you're questioning where do we get this data, who made this comment, contact our office and we'll let you know. And that's the way we do things here.
Yeah, absolutely. So that seems like a good point to wrap this up with a lot going on. In addition to these, dear viewers, so do check out our website, CatholicLeague.org. We'll have a link in the description below. And while you're there, maybe you should consider becoming a member of the Catholic League. We add a lot of value. We'll get Catalyst 10 times a year. It's monthly, except for January, February, July, August. And it's not just a little flyer. It's 16 pages, you always point out, Bill, of everything that we're doing at the Catholic League. And consider signing up for our email e-blast, because generally on our e-blast we'll have contact persons for you to get involved to express outrage or support, depending on the issue. So do check those out. And if you could give this video a like and subscribe, help us beat big tech algorithm, that will greatly help us get the message out. Thanks for watching. Thanks, Bill.
Thank you.